Now, I don't even know where to begin with this, quite frankly. I wasn't planning on making this, and then plenty of you reached out asking for my thoughts and opinions surrounding the recent Dying Light 2 drama. For those of you that don't know, there's been some pretty disappointing and kind of infuriating updates with Dying Light 2 at the moment. Unfortunately, it's filled with a lot of drama, misinformation, a subreddit arguing with each other, all because of a few things. One is this new pistol weaponry kit bundle that is now in the Dying Light store, which you can purchase for Dying Light points. We all know how much we love paid bundles on this channel. And two, the supposed cease and desist that Techland has sent to a fellow modder in the community to shut down their mod. But more on that later. That one is not as straightforward as the downright ridiculousness with this bundle and what it stands for.
Oh shit. Here we go again. Worst place in the world.
This new bundle is so infuriating for so many different reasons, because it now breaks that barrier that the stuff being offered in the Dying Light store is beyond skins, weapons, and cosmetics. This bundle costs $5. It's on sale for $2 right now as of the recording of this video. It offers the American pistol, 10 medkits, and 5,000 old world money.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Not only is this one of the worst trade offers ever created, but it shows that Techland is now willing to start selling things that expedite or bypass player progression. Now, first off, in the story of Dying Light 2, guns are this rare relic that not many people have access to, ammunition is limited, you do not unlock guns until you get to a quest in the central loop. And for me, I consider the central loop about halfway through the game. Players will not unlock guns until they have progressed about 50% or more through the story. And with that, there is still a considerable amount of grind associated with ranking up the agent that offers you guns. It is quite a time investment, but not anymore. You can go ahead and just pay to bypass that grind. You can unlock it earlier. You can buy that pistol pack. Not only does getting the gun early completely break the lore, but this officially opens the door for Techland to create and center content with the intention that it will take players a considerable amount of grind or some sort of deep progression to it, while going and offering the same content but accessible right away if you open your wallet. Let me explain further, because honestly, that's a mouthful. TLDR, Techland can just go ahead and just increase the grind for any and all game mechanics, including new ones that may be added into DLC 2, and then later introduce bundles to skip said progression. This was not an issue prior to Dying Light points existing. This is the same shit that the garbage Suicide Squad game did with the Joker character. You grind for a ridiculous amount or spend money now to unlock it, kind of like a fast pass. You know how at Disney World they have those exclusive lines where you can essentially pay to fast pass and cut everybody? That's exactly what this is. This is leaning into some fucking Ubisoft levels amount of greed, and it's actually pathetic. It's embarrassing.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
The second component to this bundle is medkits, aka the best healing option in the game, and also 5,000 old world money. It's a pathetic amount, and it honestly doesn't take long to obtain these items in the game. However, it is just a taste of what's to come if we don't offer up criticism now on this. This cannot be the norm. You give them an inch and they take a mile. What is next if the community allows this? Is character boosters next? Legend level boosters? If they have no issue with you bypassing entire gun quests, who's to say they won't do the same for your power level later down the road? Further down the slippery slope we go. Man, it's almost like 8 months ago, the community was crying and begging Techland to not do some scummy, greedy shit that we're seeing right now. And before you go and use the argument that I'm blowing this out of proportion, or that it's only cosmetics and that it's completely optional and that you don't have to buy it, this is how it starts. It's a slippery slope, okay? Monetization will increasingly get more intrusive over time if they can get away with it now. This is why I'm making a huge stink about this. I don't want to see this game fall victim to the countless other games that are doing the exact same thing. But in response, many people in the community and even Techland were saying that this is being blown out of proportion and it's only cosmetics. Lo and behold, here we are 8 months later, and they are just inching a little bit more to see how much they can get away with. Remember all of that negative feedback from long ago, and that Techland responded saying that that they're looking into developing a way to purchase individual components to the bundles. Where is that? What happened to that? Is it right next to the Nintendo Switch version of this game? What happened? What happens in a few months from now when they take that extra step further because no one said anything about this bundle? I said it months ago and I'll say it again, monetization will increasingly get more and more intrusive the longer you allow it to. These types of bundles, and honestly, every single bundle is entirely optional. You are correct when you make that criticism. However, we now run the risk that they may purposely design and develop the game in a way that incentivizes players to spend that extra money to not be bothered with the grind. Those entirely optional bundles now affect the entire fan base. And honestly, it's such a shame that we are here once again. I mean, I haven't looked at this in a while, but look at this shop. Look at how many different bundles and items are in here. It already has more bundles on sale than compared to Dying Light 1, despite only being 2 years into its life cycle. What is this pricing, by the way? One could argue that this is some FOMO tactics because it's launching at a 60% off value. The actual value of this, by the way, is all sorts of fucked up. This bundle is a $2 bundle at best. Shouldn't even exist, but it's priced at $2. Whatever. However, the actual price is $5 and then they slapped a 60% off to entice you. This is exactly what we worried about months ago. Now, contrary to popular belief, I actually really hate having to make these super negative types of videos that are filled with harsh criticism. I feel like a principal talking to you, the parent, on how our kid Techland fucked up once again and is being suspended. Many of you might have remembered that I said something like this a bit ago, and honestly, I'm done. I'm going to stop Dying Light 2 content severely on this channel. I have plans to make 6 more Dying Light 2 videos, and then I'm done. That I was done with Dying Light 2 content around the time of Dying Light points being released. I will address that at the end of this video, because I want to take a moment and look at the bigger picture Techland is doing here. If they have no issue doing this for a game like Dying Light, when they have a new single-player story-focused game on the horizon, if they can get away with it here, God help us all for whatever greedy tactics and microtransactions they use in the new game that launches. But Oni, think about all the people who have jobs and children and they don't have time for grinding. Just make a game that's fun and enjoyable and people will play it. Stop utilizing these dumbass player retention strategies. So when you go into your corporate meetings, you can see that player retention is up because they spent 20 hours grinding to get a shiny ass rifle. It's just so it is honestly exhausting. And I think a lot of my frustration just stems from how exhausting modern day gaming is. I mean, when you have companies like EA that want to put ads into your game, when you have companies like Sony that want to force you to sign up for a PlayStation Network account and then threaten to restrict access to your purchase if you don't, then you have developers with no issue charging you for a $250 scam version of a game to give you access to a PvE content. Then you have Ubisoft that wants to charge you $130 for a new game that comes with a season pass and a digital art book. Does anybody look at these fucking digital art books? Everybody is just competing for your time and money. No longer can you just escape without being bombarded to spend more after you already made the initial purchase. And when you have those developers who deliver those incredible one-of-a-kind experiences, they're pushed away and shut down. It's so disgusting and disheartening to see how far things have gone here. And it's unfortunate to see that Techland is just another company doing the same greedy shit that so many others are doing. I'm thirsty. I'm tired, man. I just want to sleep, okay? And there's no better way to do that than with the Mantis sleep mask.
And now for something completely different.
So you're probably wondering, why is OniZombies laying in his bed with his dog right here? Hi Sammy, how's it going? So I'm here today to talk about a sponsor, Manta Sleep. They've been kind enough to go ahead and send me one of their sleep masks. This sleep mask right here has honestly been a top tier addition to my sleep quality. You can go ahead, fully adjust it to your head, and it offers full blackout visibility so you get a nice good quality night's sleep. Like right now, you can obviously see that the lights are on. I think they're somewhere over here, but you can just see that this video is completely lit up. But right now, what I see is complete darkness. is complete darkness, and it's been truly beneficial to my sleeping quality. I hope I don't have the biggest double chin on camera, but this is essentially what it looks like. Man, it is so dark in here. I can't believe it, Sammy. You should go and use the link down below for Sammy right here. Okay? Look at her. She likes it. She's right there. She can't wear it though. I don't know if they're dog approved or not. But again, thank you so much to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Check them out with the link down below and also in the pinned comment. You can purchase one today and get 10% off by using my discount code. And with all that said, let's get back to it now.
I know. How's that for a sponsor segment? Totally contractually obligated to do that on my next video, and just how things worked out with this one, I'm sorry. Now, many of you have reached out to me stating that Techland has shut down a fellow modder, Doc on Holiday's I Am Legion mod, because he had a Patreon account. And there has been so much misinformation associated with this, and it's been painting Techland into an even worse light. Now, don't get me wrong, they don't get a free pass. I believe the first 10 minutes of this video should express that to you. And I wanted to step in, talk about the drama, and offer some clarifications because there is so much shit and drama associated with this. So let's begin. The reality of the situation is that Techland only had an issue with the content being tied behind a paywall, which is true for this particular mod. Depending on your Patreon level, you were given access to various pieces of content that you wouldn't receive otherwise if you did not pay. That's where the issue arose with Techland. Depending on your Patreon level, you were given access to various pieces of content that you wouldn't receive otherwise if you didn't pay. In some instances, that was early access content. While the content at some point would indeed come out and be released out of early access for Doc's situation, the issue lies with content being locked behind a paywall. And this is something many developers do not allow and is not exclusive to Techland. Things like this are done to avoid situations where, for example, let's say I make a mod recreating the entirety of Dying Light 1 into Dying Light 2, and if I had malicious intent, I could release a version of that mod where, let's just say, it includes one mission, the intro mission. But if you go to my Patreon and let's say you pay $50 a month to just make it easy, you get early access to the entire thing because I completed the entire map in Dying Light 2 long ago. There is nothing stopping me from making the official release date of this mod in the year 2060. I could drag out this early access period for however long I would like if I had bad intentions. Now, I'm not saying that is the case for Doc and that this is what he would have done, but what Techland did here was request to take down that paid component to extra features or content tied behind the paywall, early access included, which honestly, it's totally understandable why they did something like this. In response to this request, Doc took down his mod. Techland did not take down the mods themselves, but rather they ceased and desist to remove that paywall content to avoid situations like with what I just described. In Doc's announcement regarding this, the mod has been and always will be completely free and has never had content hidden behind a paywall. Rather, it has had a thank you pack and a single pathway available to supporters that allow them to enjoy the game faster, such as unlocking all of my custom mod content. In that statement, the thank you pack he is referring to gives you access to his custom content that you wouldn't have had otherwise if you did not pay. It's a pretty straightforward occurrence. It's quite cut and dry, and I'm not exactly sure why something like this has been blown up even more. He says it right here in his announcement. The thank you pack, it gave you access to content. It's tied behind a paywall. Technically it is, and that's what Techland had an issue with. It's honestly a really shitty situation that sucks for both sides because I totally understand both sides of the situation. It is completely reasonable to want to have some sort of donation or compensation for your work that you're working on when it comes to modding. But I also understand where Techland is coming from, where if someone had bad intentions, they could easily lock out better versions of their game behind a paywall. Lo and behold, 4 years later, we have a Dota 2 situation. But people are painting Techland to be an even worse villain when it comes to this. I agree. They are evil. They're pieces of shit. They're greedy sacks of shit with this bundle. I agree. Trust me. I love me a good Techland bad story. View number go up. What they did is pretty much in line with what most other developers do to protect their IP. honestly, Techland has much bigger problems on their hands than this. I'm sorry to say. And that statement is not to diminish the value and the role that modders play with content creation. It's more of a statement about the current state of Dying Light 2 and the lack of content with it, and how they're struggling. I broke my water bottle. It's more of a statement about the current state of Dying Light 2 and the lack of content. They are struggling. I don't think Techland truly understands the position that they are in right now with Dying Light 2. It's kind of on its last legs. Right, Danny? A final stand, you could say. And for me, the final hoorah for this game is represented by tower raids and the upcoming DLC 2. These two aspects hold significant potential to not only benefit the franchise, but also revitalize the zombie genre as a whole. It seems like the current state of the zombie genre is a dying light.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting.
One of my upcoming videos will tackle why I think the genre is currently dying, but it's a combination of factors including oversaturation, lack of originality, issues with quality and delivery. Zombie games have kind of been on the decline over the years. There are a few titles like Dying Light 2, Dead Island, and a few others that are kind of like the front runners leading the charge, but at the end of the day, they're kind of on the way out, and in order for the zombie genre to regain momentum and capture the attention of audiences once again, there needs to be this concentrated effort towards fresh ideas, enhancing storytelling, ensuring high quality executions across all aspects of gameplay. Techland can't really be fucking around with shit like this, and it's just sad to see that they're chasing trends again. Make a quick buck. It's going to run their franchise and the zombie genre as a whole right into the ground. I am quite worried for tower raids and DLC 2. The expectation to deliver is so high, especially as time goes on with delays. Tower raids and DLC 2, it contains something special that could reignite interest in both the game and the genre as a whole, drawing more players back into the fold. And I don't know if I can trust them to deliver on this front. I'm quite worried. They did release the Nightmare update, which honestly, pretty solid addition to the game. Full transparency, I'm not someone who's drawn to these super difficult experiences. I'd rather be spending my time playing Balatro, but I do appreciate the time and effort developers put into this. And again, I also want to make things very clear that this video is not aimed at developers who just want to make a good game, developers who are passionate in creating a unique and satisfying experience. This is not aimed for you at all. Everything of what I said, all that rage shit in the beginning, I want to make it very clear that all that feedback was aimed at good old upper management. Man, the Dying Light journey that I've had on this channel has been something. And I also want to mention that around 8 months ago, I said I was mainly done with Dying Light 2 content after the 6 videos that I had planned, and that I was going to start transitioning the channel towards other zombie games. That is true, and that's honestly what I've been doing for the last 9 months on here, and I'll continue to do that for the rest of this year and next year. Like I said in that original video, I will hop in here and there to talk about major updates like tower raids and DLC 2 to offer up criticism. My channel, at the end of the day, it was built on Dying Light 2, and I kind of feel like I owe it to my audience to some degree to speak out when things are going good versus when they're not. Because honestly, there's not that many left of us. But now I will say the overall goal of this channel is to start moving towards producing videos that are longer, higher quality, videos like the Dying Light 1 versus Dying Light 2, or revisiting Days Gone, where I can do these massive 30 to 40 minute plus in-depth deep dives are going to be the future of this channel. I want to put in more time and energy into projects like that. For full transparency, I need to do this in a smart way that doesn't completely torpedo my channel. I just can't stop Dying Light 2 content without killing it. For now. And this is kind of like a YouTube algorithm thing. YouTube really punishes you if you try to deviate really far off from what you're known for. And this is an issue that stems to many creators, even within the Dying Light gaming sphere and beyond it. So I need to do this carefully. So I formulated more of a plan this time around. I'm aiming to produce around 2 to 3 variety videos for every Dying Light 2 video produced on this channel. I mean, just take a look at the channel and compare it with last year to this year. There is a pretty clear transitional phase that I'm going through with my audience to hope that you all stick around and continue to watch and enjoy the content that I'm putting out. We are slowly transitioning to more creative opportunities that better fit with what I'm trying to get out of this channel, but to also make content that you find enjoyable. When I made that Days Gone video, that was a huge risk. I spent months working on that video. I probably put like around 100 to 150 hours into that video, including playing the game. So there's a huge time investment and risk when it comes to certain videos, but that's kind of what I want to transition the channel towards. Those big, long, in-depth deep dives. That is what I think is perfect for what we have established on here. I want to do more things like that, and that's what I'm transitioning towards. It's just going to take some time. I'm going to continue that until I find my footing, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Again, thank you all for watching. This has been it's been a long video, but with all of that said, I hope you did enjoy. Leave a like, leave a comment on your thoughts about this whole situation. I will read them. With that said, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.